My name's John Brueggen, and I am the director at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park. When I was 5, I told my parents I was going to be a zookeeper. I mean, it's been my whole life. I knew exactly what the plan was. We're best known amongst the reptile people because we're the only zoo in the world that has every species of crocodile and alligators. So there's 24 of these reptiles, alligators, crocodiles, caiman, around the world, and this is the only place in the world you could stop and see them all. Part of it is science keeps changing things, so every now and again people name a new species that we don't have, so that changes how we are able to advertise. So that's a little bit of an odd thing, but not everybody's a reptile fan, so we do have colorful parrots from around the world, tiny monkeys, lemurs, all kinds of cool things like that. This is a privately owned facility by just a single family, and that family is very invested in the park. So we're currently the oldest attraction left in Florida, and I attribute it to the fact that this particular family isn't taking all the money and leaving with it. They are constantly reinvesting in this park. So there's probably no section of this park that hasn't been rehabbed or built new or fixed in some way since I've gotten here over those 23 years, because they just are constantly saying, okay, what can we do? What can we do better? What can we do next that will keep people interested and appreciate the animals the way we want them to? I'm positive the name is a problem for us. So the alligator part probably isn't a problem, but the farm part is, right? We're not a farm, and oddly enough, we've been in existence since 1893. We're celebrating our 130th year, but we've never been a farm, so it's kind of a silly name for us. I think 100 plus years ago when they were putting the name on it, the name farm just kind of told everybody, hey, there's going to be a lot of them, right? You're going to see more alligators than you've ever seen before. But we're not here making belts and wallets and purses out of our animals. We're trying to do our best to conserve them here and in the wild. It's hard to conserve an animal that eats people. So people are like, well, why do I want that animal around? And so while we're not making belts and wallets out of them, some places are, and I'm not opposed to that 100%, because if you farm raise animals in a certain location and the locals get a benefit from that, then the locals will say, okay, I want those animals around. Now it's important to me. I don't want it to eat my kid, but if the village gains some money or respect or power or whatever out of having them in the environment, then that's important to us. So I want people to understand how the animals fit into nature and why we should keep them all around. Probably the best part of the job is that no 2 days are the same, right? Everything's interesting. There's some days it's paperwork, but some days it's out sitting on alligators and getting blood work, and some days it's teaching classes and whatever. So it's a mixed bag. We're getting to educate them without even knowing they're being educated sometimes, right? So they're maybe not going to sit down and watch a documentary on alligators, but when they get here, it's the closest thing they've ever seen to a living dinosaur is walking up on a 14 or 15 foot alligator or crocodile. And it's impressive. And immediately there's a tie to nature when you see it in person, or if you get up in our shows, you can pet a snake or pet an alligator. If you touch it in person, you suddenly have a connection with wildlife that you didn't have before. And that makes a difference for people when they go back to wherever they came from to think about, oh, why is that animal important where I'm at?